Alrighty, I got super busy at work today. Was hoping that hold on a second. Sorry, I'm doing something. But it's super busy today. I was gonna do something different today, but as I was super busy, I had more time to like really go through some stuff, and then I found something that gave me a little bit of inspiration of what I wanted to do today. So we're gonna do that. So I wanted to kind of talk about how um like in a lot of cases, especially right now in the culture that we live in, we kind of forget um, that we're all like kind of just like people, you know. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but um, we do tend to forget that there's other people in the world having similar, if not the same, very similar experiences to us in the world, and we kind of judge everyone from the outside without really trying to comprehend that the world's not about us. It's not about just what we want or the things that we get out of it. It just kind of exists as this place to, in a way, kind of test yourself. Like everything's a struggle. Everything is a struggle. Everything's a test. Even if you're given all these things that you claim that you want or need in your life, you have everything that you've ever wanted forever. That's a test. Even that's something that um, you can derive lessons out of. If you have everything that you need, then what are you doing? What is the true purpose of living? Is it to have everything that you want and need? There's always different ways of thinking about stuff like that. And a lot of what happens in our culture is that we focus on having things and being content and being self-sufficient. Um, we focus on just normal everyday like survival stuff, and we don't really focus on like the important stuff. If you want a family and you have it, what are you doing in it? Are you having a family simply because it is a prescriptive that you ought to do this? Are you doing this because you want to be a father? Are you doing this because it's helping you develop a better relationship with Christ or a better connection to Christ? There's many different reasons for having a family, but once you have it, what do you do with it? Like, how do you perform your duty? This is where I mean by men and women both generally getting this idea confused once they have a family. What are they supposed to do with it? Are you supposed to just provide things to it? Are you supposed to shovel money towards it? Are you supposed to have a big house and enough amenities for your child to be able to have a easy, well set up type of life? Is that what you ought to do as a parent? Well, I think it's maybe somewhat part of it. I think you should have. I think you should always have at least a roof over their head, food in their belly, and security in that type of sense. But a lot of people forget, and this is something that my generation kind of experienced through having a bunch of Gen X parents, right? Um, there's stuff that you have to do outside of that to be a father, to fulfill the bare minimums of things that are just expected overall in general, that's not truly being a father. That's you being like a caretaker. I can provide shelter and food for many people, but my children are a specific type of responsibility. They're a type of responsibility in that you are their teacher, you are their protector, you're their guide. You guide them through life. You sacrifice consistently and constantly for them. You do whatever it takes to provide these things to them. But anyways, kind of went on a rant, but I was gonna go through some stuff. Like, yeah, there was this. I found this one random video, and it was like a chain of like it's a whole series of videos of this girl who's about 20 years old, I think, and her struggles of being a child and not really being. And I'm going to take her on good faith on the things that she's saying because I think I say I'm decent at reading people. I'm going to say there's going to be some things that she's overly upset about, probably here and there. That's not that big of it. Like it's not actually a thing. But for the most part, I'm going to take her at her word of how she's experienced this thing and within her family. We're going to start this out.
Because in every instance of me wanting to do something, I have a fear of losing my loved ones, being verbally abused, yelled
I
at.
would say the whole verbal abuse thing kind of gay, but there is a certain idea that can be described in that's accurate, right? There can be times where you are being genuinely verbally abusive. And does that mean that you in this way, like say that you have a child that you know that's trying to impress you constantly, right? Is trying to do whatever they take. You know that they're like not totally emotionally stable, maybe because they're teenager going through the normal teenager stuff. But there has to be some like grace there to where you don't just belittle everything that they say and everything that they are asking from you. You can't belittle. You can sometimes when it's important to do so, that there's a lesson within that. But it's ultimately, for the most part, I think, not something you should do to your own child. And I'm not saying that this is even fully accurate. This could be her just being not really giving the full story of it, but still important to understand that if she's being truthful, that's really what happened. There is a problem there to a certain extent.
Am I free to talk about the things that have happened to me? Am I free to express the pain that I have endured in my life? I don't know. But I want to be brave again.
Now, I will say this: it's and I'm going to be talking to this girl as if she's, my kid or something. I'm trying to give fatherly advice, I guess. I don't know. But I would say this. Um, I don't think it's a good idea to do that on the internet. There are people that will use it to attack and shame you over things like that. But for the most part, like I don't think there's any real big problem as long as you can ignore those portions and just saying stuff and talking about your life. I don't think there's any problem. Like me, I don't give a fuck. I'll tell people a lot about myself, just not generally, some things that just don't really matter or pertain to whatever I'm talking about.
And try.
All right, lady,
If you
come on.
don't know me, Chris to be a YouTuber. I've had that passion since I was 6 years old. Passion to be a YouTuber.
Now, this is what I'll say. A passion, like YouTube is an interesting place. It's an interesting type of sort of collection of artistic ideals and um, trying to learn how to be entertaining or comedic or whatever. There's plenty of good things that you can get out of by trying to be a part of the internet and trying to produce something, and that YouTube will give you immediate, like if you could find a crowd, like an immediate like a critique on how you could be better at something. So there is like that artistic type of passion. Like even I have that to some extent. I don't generally express that on YouTube. I usually do that in my personal life by like writing and things like that that I keep personally to me, and that I only share with people that I am close to, you know. But I don't know what the point was, but like I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Trying to pursue to do this as a job.
I've had that passion since I was 6 years old, and I also want to financially support myself. I
Yeah, I
have
will say this: that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. And the reason that I say that that's not a good idea is because that's kind of like playing the lottery in some extent. You could do something where you're really good at it and engage with it. There's certain types of communities where you could build a name for yourself, but you can't do that in the sense of you can't do that in the sense of as just expecting it to work out and using that as like your plan A on something. You can't use that as a plan. YouTube is something that should always be secondary up until it's not.
where I'm able to talk about it, I get threatened. I want this YouTube channel to be mine. I had no one to talk to,
All
and
right,
no
so
one
here's
was
the
here
part. Here's another part.
expressing who it was, and I was told I was ruining my family. But at the time, I had no one to talk to, and no one was
See, this is
hearing me
hold
for
on.
help. And I was depressed, and I was suicidal. And I have felt that way since I've been for 5 years. Service
Now, see, this is why I wanted to kind of cover this because I don't think that she's lying here. And the reason that I say this is because like there are people in the world that are put under very stressful situations throughout most of their life and childhood. And you can kind of tell that there's a controlled type of emotionalism, right? There's a controlled, like there's an intense suppression of some sort of emotional state. It's an out of control wildfire on the inside, but on the outside, they suppress it to the point where they suppress it to the point where it's like a fucking teapot, you know, fucking steam's blowing out. Sorry for your watch. Thank you, Jared. But and this is why I wanted to cover this person because I don't think that they're being disingenuous. I don't think that they're lying. I think that they're over emotional, maybe misremembering some things and being over emotional about certain things that's happened. But I don't think that this person is crazy or delusional.
is a self expression of what it's like to live in an environment that never truly accepts you, but accepts you based on your performance.
This is the thing, right? This is going to be me going into dad mode real quick. You can't expect everybody to accept you for anything more than what your performance is. Now, you can have inherent value, but if you're wanting people to just say and give you things based on the inherent value of what you are, a human, a woman, or whatever it is, then you're going to get a lot of pieces of shit hanging around you, trying to manipulate you to make you feel good about yourself and then trying to take from you. So never respect the person who just gives you innate value. You never trust that type of person. A person who is being honest with you and basing all their judgments on you based on your performance generally is more of an honest person and more trustworthy. But I do think, but in that case, that when it comes to family, there are some things like a father and a mother should not accept from. There's some things that they shouldn't. There's some things they should be patient with and try to work through with you and try to be present. But it's not that they have to accept you. They don't have to accept the certain things that you do. They don't. But I do think that there is a level of patience required. They shouldn't just outright belittle and attack you over things that you want to talk about or express, or certain things like stuff like that. Not everyone's going to accept you, but people want to be accepted. That's why social media is such a disease. Yep, and this is what happens, and this is what a kind of a problem that this person I think is going through. I think they're going through a very difficult part of their life, and they have no one that they can talk to. They don't really have any friends. They feel abandoned by their family because nobody's being present and trying to help work through this stuff. She's going to a psychiatrist, which is something that's going to come up in a little bit. And they don't really do anything except self affirmation type of shit. Like, oh, this is the way you feel. Okay, well, here's either a pill to help with that, or um, you just need to think about it a little differently. Or you need to um, not even think about it differently, but you need to just feel heard, I guess.
I did. After losing my second channel, start another one.
Okay, so I'm going to go back a
Surface
little bit.
is a self expression, and no one was hearing me for help. And I was depressed, and I was suicidal. And I have felt that way since I've been for 5 years.
This is something I wanted to talk about. This I forgot to make one point about this part. Is that look, this is the thing. A lot of people try to belittle somebody when they, especially when they're doing um when they're doing when they're trying to shit. I just lost my whole point because I just got distracted with the nice map comment. Okay, but anyways, I guess it wasn't that important. But there are people that damn, I can't reconnect it. Oh well,
Accept it.
it's gone.
There was a lot of good memories made, but also very bad.
But something else that she's kind of angry about too is I guess she had a YouTube channel where it was getting big and she could be monetized and make money on it when she was younger, and her parents made her take the channel down because of a video she made about her sister doing something bad. I guess she like threatened her or something, but that she also, I don't know, like it's all kind of weird. And like I don't have any doubt that what she's saying is true, but I don't know if she's giving like the full context of everything that's happening. So it's hard for me to make a judgment on that. But I will say this: a lot of millennial, a lot of Gen X parents are very emotionally incapable of like having conversations with their children. That's just something I've noticed.
Very, very bad ones. And finally, to be honest, I don't have any lore with
This is her
somebody who
talking
on
about
the
what she's trying to do. She's making an ARG or something. You know, whatever, if it works
hard,
out, if it's
if
a
you
cool
want to call
thing.
it, the ultimate
Yeah.
reality, and I will reap the consequences of my choice to be
But
truthful.
this is a whole like 5 day arc. This happened this week. I don't know what the fuck's been going on the past 2 weeks spiritually, but goddamn, son. Like I went through some shit. A bunch of other people have gone through some shit. This chick gets thrown out on Father's Day. Spoiler alert. Like it's all kinds of crazy shit happened in the past 2 weeks. Oliver Tree died.
And I will miss the people that I wanted to listen to me. So, Mom and Pop, if you're watching this,
Right, and this is the thing. This is where like I kind of feel like this is where it's coming from, like the psychologist or whatever she's going to, the counselor or whatever it is. Um, the problem isn't that you're not being heard. The problem is nobody is helping you get over it. Like nobody's actually. And I'm going to be honest. There could be certain cases where this is just what you are, but I don't think that this person's like irrational, completely insane, or nuts. I think this person just really wants her father present with her. That's what I've gotten out of the 3 videos that I watched. She just wants her father to be present with her. She wants her father to listen to her and help work out her problems with her. This is why it kind of pissed me off when I was listening to it. Rip Oliver
yes,
Tree, yes. I don't know what, like, that was some crazy shit. I just heard about that the other day where you got like killed in a helicopter.
no, one day you probably will. I love you guys,
I'm never going on a helicopter, by the way. I've made that decision because all the coolest people have died on helicopters, and I don't want to be one of them.
but I can't stay silent anymore. And I really tried to tell y'all, but it was always taken by defense. And I'm really thankful for you guys, and I love you. And you guys have blessed me so much. But I still have a lot of hurt and a lot of pain that I am still dealing with, and I need the space to self express without judgment, without being belittled. So from now on, I'm choosing.
Yeah, so that's actually an important aspect of being a father and mother. You have to be capable of engaging with your children in a way that doesn't necessarily affirm everything that's going on, but still be there and present within the moment to be able to help work them through whatever problem that they're going through. This is an important aspect of being a good parent, I think, in general. It's very important when it comes to being a good father. Very important to be a good father and to be capable of doing this. It's not, with a mother, it's more about like, making someone feel loved and cared for. As a father, it's helping them work through the bullshit that they get themselves into, helping guide them through the garbage that they're emotionally putting on themselves.
Be myself.
And I'm going to
Because
be honest, I don't think that this person's crazy or insane. I think that this is just a kid that's trying to learn how to be an adult, but doesn't really understand it to a great extent because she hasn't had a father that has helped her wade through the shit in her mind and has left her spiritually vulnerable to a bunch of other shit going on in her life.
if not, will happen.
What? Hold up. What was
But
that?
I'm choosing to be myself. Because if not, will happen.
Okay, I didn't notice that. That's actually kind of scary. I don't like that. Um, shit. This has been happening over the course of a few weeks too. So I don't. I'm gonna have to. Probably gonna have to try to contact this person because that's not a. That's not okay. That's a little crazy. That is crazy. But that's also probably an effect of the current delusion that she's under.
I think about it too often, and I would rather try again. Even though I've tried so many times, and it gets harder each time. But I know I'm here for a reason, and you're here for a reason, and we're gonna make this through together. And I'm so proud of you for being here.
Okay, I don't need your affirmation. But anyways, yeah, we are here for a reason, to serve as the body of Christ, to bring people into the church. But just saying something like this is the thing too. Is like a lot of what happens within specifically young women. A lot of the reason that they have a lot of the bullshit, like these weird, vague, like self-affirmating terms, is because they don't have fathers that's helped. Once again, I'm just going to repeat it again. To help wade through that kind of horse shit. That's how you can tell a woman has had a father who's been present in their life and has helped them, and had a father that's just kind of half-assed, just provided provided materially, but never provided spiritually to the house. But that's part one. But we're gonna try to skip through it a
I'm
little
shaking
bit
making this video because
this is all happening within like 1 week.
I'm not supposed to talk about it. Okay? I'm not supposed to talk about it. One, I know that after me making this video and being truthful about what is happening to me and my siblings, I'll get kicked out. So, also my dad stalks my YouTube, and he stalked all of my YouTube channels my entire life, so he's going to be seeing this video. And
Well, okay, first of all, wouldn't you want your father to see the things that you're producing? If you're not willing to say things to his face that you're willing to say on YouTube, there's a problem there. Because now, when I heard this, I was initially saying, okay, she's not actually doing this to like be heard. Well, or she's doing this to be heard, but she's not doing it to be heard by the internet or just by anybody who has an ear to listen. She's trying to talk to her father through YouTube. So to me, this is a signifier for something a really big problem with either her or the father.
he's going to be very angry with me and yell at me, okay? Because he does that. So I have the definition of emotional abuse. And this has been my entire life, living here.
Gaslighting and manipulation. All right, well, I do some gaslighting, but I don't do manipulation. Well, is gaslighting a manipulation? A manipulation and trying to incite anger in somebody? Well, gaslight. I don't think that's emotional abuse. I think it's funny. Verbal assault, frequent name calling, harsh criticism, insults, and extreme sarcasm designed to make the person feel worthless. This is a dangerous thing that you can do to your child. Your child is not your friend, not your buddy. Your child sees you as bigger than life itself, as the person who gives everything to them, the person that they see you as like a fucking superhero. So you shouldn't be doing this kind of shit to your child. But I don't think it's a verbal assault. I think it's just I do think it's abusive, but not in the sense of, I don't know how she means it. Threats using physical harm, abandonment, or harm or loved ones, or pets. Threats. Okay, so threats using the threat of harm, abandonment, or harm, abandonment, or harm to loved ones or pets is leverage. Yeah, those are threats. I don't understand. This is a really control and monitoring. No, control and monitoring is something that a parent should do. This girl, she's a 20-year-old girl, so maybe to some extent this shouldn't be happening to this degree. But if you're living in your father's house, you have to expect him to. Well, one, you should always want your father to be interested in what you do. Two, if you're using this as a method to communicate with them, this is not good. You shouldn't be doing that. Three, if I guess it would depend on the intention of why the father is doing it. Like monitoring it to make sure you're not doing something crazy, that's fine. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't care if my daughter's fucking 40 years old. I'd probably be watching what she does on the internet too. and not in a way that I'm seeking out to judge her and attack her over stuff. But definitely, I'd be wanting to see what my daughter's up to if she's doing this kind of stuff.
I am 20 years old. I am trying to move out. I am a migraine patient. I deal with chronic pain, and I get emotionally abused by my Christian parents. So if you could watch this video through so that I can get monetized, that'd be great. Speaking of, I did have a YouTube channel when I was 15 to 17 that I spent 2 years of making, and on there...
See, she got that damn fire in her now. She got that spirit of rebellion in her now. She's gonna say what she's gonna say.
I would do cool makeup looks and things because I grew up, my parents put me in face painting at 11, and I have been working face painting since I was 11 years old. Okay?
You could tell that she's just had like an argument or something with her father or mother or something. She's just had an argument. She went into her room, calmed down a little bit, and then started.
And so that was a hobby of mine, but my parents didn't like that I was doing some scary makeup looks at 15 years old for fun. Because it's demonic. Whatever, it's not. It's not. It's
based. I'm going to say based. I'm just going to say it. Like, if you're doing some weird-ass demonic shit, yeah, I'm going to tell you to stop.
It's because, let's just say,
You get me on your dad's side now.
I almost lost my life to one of my siblings. And I forgive her, and it's not her fault because she has a brain tumor, but you didn't protect anybody, okay? And I know that you said that you've already said...
Now, there's the lore drop. I didn't actually catch that when I was listening to it the first time. There's the lore drop. She had a brain tumor, and she tried to kill her sister. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Sorry and stuff, but you brush it off. You've brushed it off my entire life, and now you're like, here, I'll give you counseling sessions because you can't handle me being so terrified and so scared all the time and having so much anxiety caused by the abusive behavior from my parents.
Well, it sounds like you're scared because you had a near-death experience with someone that you trusted. So, okay, so it's making more sense. I wasn't really paying attention when I was listening to this video. But it's kind of making more sense why she's so neurotic. Like she probably has.
You've already
I'm not
said
gonna
sorry and
psychoanalyze.
stuff, but you brush it off. You've
Dr. Filderline. What the fuck is Filderline?
brushed it off my entire life, and now you're like, here, I'll give you counseling sessions because you can't handle me being so terrified and so scared all the time and having so much anxiety caused by the abusive behavior from my parents. Okay, so what I was going to say is, yeah, I had a YouTube channel from the time I was 15 to 17, and they didn't like what I was posting on there because when I was 17, I posted a short that was, why are you so scared of your sister? And the short on the other side said, well, it's because, and I didn't say the reason why, but that video got 3
Yeah, this is just like childish. This is just childish. Now, I've kind of changed my mind now that I know what actually happened. Yeah, this is just childish bullshit. And what she's dealing with right now, maybe could have been dealt better by her father, but I'm starting to feel like she's just kind of tacking on a bunch of stuff to make herself feel more justified for, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what she's trying to justify herself for. Hey, Jeremy. I don't know what she's trying to justify. That she's a victim? She's just justifying she's a victim? Well, even if that's the case, okay, you're a victim. What do you get out of that? Once again, this is a problem of not having a father help wade through the shit.
million views, and I was going to get monetized.
However, messaged you like 10 minutes ago. I didn't know you were alive. I didn't know you messaged me.
And so my parents set me down and told me that I was a horrible person for trying to tear the family apart. And so my entire life, they are terrified that I will tell the truth of the abuse that has happened to me. Okay? And so
Lay it on me. Give me the tea.
2 weeks ago, I was on the phone with my dad.
Okay, I called him because, well, my parents have been ignoring me at home, and so my dad drove off, and because he's busy with work, and every time I would have conversations with him, he'd be like, "I have to provide for this family. I need to work." Okay.
Based, kind of based. But you know, I don't. This is the thing. Now that I like understand. Okay, so her sister tries to kill her. She had a brain tumor and went crazy and tried to kill her. Um, that's such a deep, dark, horrible secret that everything must be kept under wraps. I don't know. I think I'd be making jokes about that. Like, if I had a bunch of kids and something like that happened, I'd probably be joking around about it after a while, you know. So, yeah, and this is the thing. Like, I don't know exactly what she's talking about. She needs to give exact demonstrations of what she's talking about. And this story, I do remember this story. This is not a good story. This story's kind of retarded.
I understand that, but I need help, and so I was not getting help for years. Okay. So I finally called him and I broke it. I broke. I usually don't act like this. I like it, it's a cycle where I pretend enough around the house, and I wear the clothes that they want, what's acceptable in the house, so that I'm not criticized over and over and corrected. So I finally 2 weeks ago I lost it because I was like, I can't continue to live in this trap. And so I called my dad and I said, well, first I texted him. I asked him if I could have some food. If I could have some food. And he said, aren't you going to work? And I said, yes, I understand I'm going to work. And he said, what do you want? I'm here. But he didn't explain what restaurant he was at. And I was like, well, what restaurant are you at? And he was like, the market. I have a meeting, blah blah. Like, it feels like I'm in the way. I'm a burden. That's my entire life, that I'm a burden and I'm in the way because I never have time for you.
Okay, well, this is the thing. Like, it depends on like how quickly this conversation even happened. But don't even know how long it took her to reply first. If I was in the market, I was like, hey, I got to get some. Like, this doesn't even make any sense. The story doesn't make any sense at all. Hey, can you get me some food? Yeah, sure. Here, I'm at the market. Um, what do you want? I have to go to a meeting. I don't. None of this makes any sense.
Because I can't, no, none of that. So I called him crying and I was like, I just don't want to feel like a burden anymore. I don't want to, and I want it to know it's okay to ask for food. And I don't remember the home phone call, sadly.
Okay, so if we remember what emotionally abusive is, just saying that kind of feels gaslighting to me. That kind of feels like you're like taking yourself as an emotional hostage to get something. And this is the point that I'm trying to say is like if he didn't, he should have immediately corrected that.
But basically brought up that I shouldn't have like big emotions, and that I'm overreacting, and he shouldn't have to tell me everywhere he's going, and that's not the point. I didn't care where he was going.
Well, you were being over emotional.
I'm overreacting, and he shouldn't have to tell
Yeah, you were overreacting. You were being overly emotional. So he did put her in check a little bit.
me everywhere he's going, and that's not the point. I didn't care where he was going. I just wanted to know that I was seen and loved, and that they cared if I was fed or not today.
Yeah, so this is just this is manipulation. That's what this is. Like and this is the thing. I kind of believe her on some of this part, but this I don't. I don't believe this at all. Maybe as we go through the other things, I'll realize that I was actually retarded.
There was no food in the house. I'm sorry that I asked for food from a father who says he just wants to provide for his family. And he told me that I need to get over my past, over that over the fact that I almost lost my life several times.
Several times? Like, you can't just say several times. You got to give a number. If it was that important and that like life altering, you'd have an exact number that you could say. And this is a question that I ask people. How many times have you ever had a pew pew held to your head? And, you know, I'll know if they're telling the truth because they almost always immediately give the number. Because it's not a hard question, and you can tell when people have had that happen to them. So, like, that is that when somebody says something like that, then I'm going, okay, I don't think that it's several. I think you're over exaggerating.
Where my life was threatened several times by one of my siblings, and he said I needed to get over that. And I explained to him if he had been through something like that and someone told him to just get over it, especially from a parent, I don't think that would be very loving to hear. I
will say this: it depends. It depends on if he's approached it in a patient, loving, like kind, loving way that you're trying to imagine that it should have been done. Like that general, like, you know, come here, sit, we can talk through it. We can figure it out. You know, I love you. I'm going to keep you safe. Don't worry about it. These kind of affirmations. Like, if you do that so many times, if you're doing that like every like week or every few days or something like that, at that point, like if after a few years, because it sounds like it's happened over the like several years ago, like at some point, you have to get over it. You have to stop using that as a method to get emotional affirmation from people, because that's manipulative. And that needs to be corrected when children do that.
was crying, I was hysterical, but he told me that my parents, he said that him and my mom live in fear of me, that they're terrified of me. But I asked, but
that's a red flag.
I
didn't hear that.
I became suicidal, and so I
okay, we're gonna go ahead and say I was wrong.
I attempted.
I was barely listening to this shit when I was at work. I was doing stuff. Okay.
Did 2 weeks ago, because I was like, if my parents are terrified of me, what's the point of living? You know. But basically 2 days after I attempted, I
don't know if they're like terrified of you or like terrified that you're actually going to do the shit that you're saying.
Him, what does that mean? And he said, no, we're not terrified of you. We're terrified that you're going to tell people the truth about your sister, and that you're going to tell people what happened to you. And we can't have that happen. We cannot have you telling people about.
I just don't think that's true. That's something I just don't think is true either. Like, even if it's like an embarrassing thing that happens, maybe he's more so saying it like this: it's nobody's business what happens in our house, and you shouldn't be telling people on the internet about it. That would be fair. And I think I'm leaning more towards probably that's what's being said, and this is her like internalizing it completely in a retarded, crazy way.
Your trauma. Because it will look bad on us, because my family is all about image. It's all about fitting. It's all about this weird idea about God that I do not agree with.
What weird idea about God, lady? God's not a weird abstract. He's the one and true creator, the all holy giver of life. Sorry, I was virtue signaling.
So anyways, control and monitoring. That's one of the things. Dictating who the victim sees, how they spend their time, or how they manage their money. Okay, so when I was 17, my parents, they took away my YouTube channel because they got scared, because I was addressing a trauma that I had been through, because I wasn't getting help. No one was listening to me. And so.
She reminds me of my sister, may she rest peace. I'm sorry, I didn't know that happened. I hope she's in the arms of the Lord. Truly do.
So what they did is they took away my YouTube channel, which I was going to get monetized, and I started that YouTube channel at 15 because my brain was like, I need to start this and work on this for this many years till I turn 18 so I can get out.
I thought that was, damn it, Voltaire, your picture from here looks like Brie. I thought Brie said that for a second. Okay, thank God. I look back. This is the problem. I work at a lot of chemicals. They get in my eyes, okay? My bad. But yeah, I do remember. You did tell me that before. My bad.
House, and they took my.
I just wanted to correct myself because I thought it was Brie saying that, but it was actually Voltaire. Then I wanted to think Voltaire I didn't listen to him when he told me that. It's not what I meant to do, okay?
One chance of getting out, and I am still here. So I've been doing YouTube for 6 years just to get out of this house, and I am tired. I am tired. Okay? And all my
And I still admit what I said before. I hope God damn it. I've just dug a hole.
All my content has gone on that channel, by the way. They had me delete every single video I made. I made 200 videos of my hard work for 2 years. They made me delete it all because they didn't like it.
Yeah, see, this is just, to me, this is just something that she's held on to, and she just can't get over it. And I don't know exactly what had happened, and I don't know if it's just based on that one video. Even if, me personally, if I had a child that was trying to make YouTube videos, right, and the most popular video she had, like, got 40 million views on something, and it was something that was very personal that happened within our family that is a wound that I'm trying to keep from festering and trying to heal it through my duty as the father of the household. I'm not gonna want that to be like shared all throughout the internet because it's nobody's business. Nobody's business but my own. You can share your story on there when you're an adult, but when you're a child, and if you were my child in my house, yes, I'm gonna tell you to get rid of it because that's nobody's business on the internet what happens in this family. And as long as you're in my house, you're gonna do what I say.
Okay? Okay, but the control and moderating thing, so they had me take a 6-month sabbatical, and they put me in a room with a Bible, and I wasn't allowed to see a lot of people. I was only allowed to go to church, and
Well, I mean, like, putting you in a room with a Bible probably, I don't know if that's the greatest idea. Well, I don't know. It could be. I'd probably put you in a room with some spiritual writings of some of the church fathers, myself personally. Like, give you some lives of the saints or something. I don't know. Like, what would I do? I don't think that. I don't even believe that's what happened.
the control and moderating thing, so they had me take a 6-month sabbatical, and they put me in a room with a Bible, and I wasn't allowed to see a lot of people. I was only allowed to go to church, and that is it.
That could be pretty based. Like, this is the thing, right? Sometimes women create these types of friend groups. Men do it too, but I'm just saying this as something that's more generally true for women. They create these friend groups where they affirm each other and then try to encourage each other to have a like type of awakening, right? An empowerment kind of moment where they try to empower each other. You can't do that. You shouldn't be taking that. Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? And they like incite people within their friend group to think a certain way about a certain issue that's happened. So they like that does generally happen, and the problem with that is, it creates like this groupthink thing where they're not actually truly being like an independent and expressive person. They're actually just one of the handful of people that are in the friend group that share the same view, that they've been pressured into that, and they're more susceptible to it. Men generally are susceptible to it as well, but a lot of men generally tend to rebel at some point. They try to be, and that's to a detriment as well. Like that's how you get an Andrew Tate. But it's also how like women generally have like bills being passed because they want to have a week off every month because they have a period. Like those are two expressions of what happens in the extremities of women and male kind of mindsets and friend groups and their natures.
Okay, so that's one. That's just one example.
So it could be pretty base that she got told to stop hanging out with these crazy bitches. That could be pretty based.
Isolation thing, I don't really know the isolation thing. I mean, we've been homeschooled our whole life. We did tutorials, so I don't think that's a thing, except for that 6-month time where I wasn't allowed to do or see a lot of people, and I was just supposed to be in the room with a Bible. And so basically I went from an alternative goth, like that's what I like, the music that I like. It was all strict for me, and I had to grow out my hair, and I had to dress a certain way because I was making them uncomfortable for being artistic. Gaslighting and
Well, okay, so this is the thing. Like, I don't think that I would care if my child is listening to, like, certain types of music as long as it's not horrific and degenerate. Uh, so, like, okay, if you're going through something and you're having all these weird, like, overly emotional shit going on, and you're having these episodes, and they're saying, okay, we're gonna strip out the weepy kind of sad boy music because I think that's emotionally affecting you. Yeah, based. I think I'm actually starting to get the dad side. I'm starting to starting to say, this dad's kind of based in a lot of ways. I'm starting to make a whole turnaround now that I'm fully paying attention to everything this chick is saying.
manipulating, denying.
And even then, like, there is value in removing yourself from those negative influences on you that do kind of give you a type of effect that isn't productive to be in.
That abusive events occurred or manipulating the victim into questioning their own memory, perception, and sanity. That happens every single day.
Or here, let me try to give you some help here. People generally remember things differently because they have a different perspective on what's happening. I do think, honestly, you're a little bit nutty. I don't think you're the craziest chick I've ever met in my life. Trust me, I've met some crazy people before. I don't think you're the craziest person, but I do think, like, you're emotionally unstable and completely harping on things that are meaningless in the grand scheme of things. So what? Your sister almost tried to kill you because she had a brain tumor or whatever. You survived it. Maybe don't focus on that so much. Maybe let go of the fact that you had to delete a YouTube channel. Let go of that. Probably for you were over infringing and doing stuff and expressing personal things going on within the family. You shouldn't have been doing that. You were at the age where your father could take that away from you.
That happens every single day. Okay? Every single day. One example. Last night, okay, my dad texted me and said, I'm going to be at your counseling session. And I said, no, I would really like to be there by myself. And so I had to text my counselor and say, my dad might show up to this session, okay? So he comes to the session, even though I told him not to. And my counselor and I are having to whisper during our session because I do not want him there. I am 20 years old. Yes, he is paying for the counseling session. Yes, I am grateful that he spends his hard-working money to help me, okay? I do not...
Yeah, he's kind of passing along his spiritual duty as the head of the family to somebody, some counselor, whatever. It's a part of the culture. People should be forgiven for that happening. And even then, counseling to some extent can have value. But, this is the thing. It's true. He paid for it. He wants to make sure that you're... Well, yeah, he's just checking in on it because it's apparently not having a good effect. Apparently it's not working. So I would probably do the same thing. Oh no, this dad's seeming pretty active, like pretty engaged in your life. Maybe you should be more appreciative of that. And maybe try to work it out with him instead of making YouTube videos about it.
I hate my parents, okay? I love my parents, but I cannot be abused anymore. And I want them to notice the effects that they've had on me my entire life because they do not listen to me. And the reason that I am the way that I am, the reason that I have these outbursts is because every time I have a argument or I try to be seen or try to tell them something, my dad ends up yelling at me and putting all this stuff on me, does not take accountability. They say that I have all...
What type of accountability does he need to take? Like, if there's some things, yeah, true, he should be taking accountability for. I don't know his life or everything. I don't know what his perspective is because I can't get that from yours. But even if that is the case, why would it be on you to do that? Why is it your responsibility to make him take accountability? You're a child. You're his child. You live with him. He pays for the stuff that you have. So why would he do it? And it seems like we're gonna get through this a little bit quicker. I gotta get through this a little bit quicker. We got a little bit more to go. Many counselors are manipulative themselves, especially today. Well, yeah, that's their job, is to be manipulative. They're manipulating you into feeling better about stuff.
These problems, and we need to figure it out. So let's get you all these doctor's appointments because I have all these problems. You know why I have all these problems? It's because of you guys. I didn't come out of the womb with all these problems. Year after year, you have chipped away my want to live because you are abusive. You are.
Okay, so that's like an insane thing to say. That's taking away your own accountability. That's trying to put all the account of all your problems, when it seems like your family provides a lot for you, on them. Like, it seems like they're trying to help you, at least within their actions. Maybe there are things that could be done better. I wouldn't know, and at this point, I can't really take what she's saying about a lot of this seriously.
Emotionally abusive, and I love you guys, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's not true. And the reason I'm making a video is because this is my freaking last result to get something through. Okay? So that happens every day.
Right, so my initial suspicion is that she's using YouTube videos to have conversations with her father. She just she just confirmed it right there. That's what she's doing. She's not actually trying to work these issues out with her father. I'm going to be honest, like, there could be cases where she's like trying to have a discussion with him and he just doesn't want to because maybe they've had this type of discussions over and over and over again and nothing ever effective change, and there's no effective change. So it's just like something like, you're just not going to listen. I got shit I got to do. If you're not going to listen or take what I say seriously, I got shit to do. I got work to do.
But
and that would be understandable.
After my counseling session, I told my counselor, I was like, look, he's going to start talking about, where our family's at and all this stuff, and he's going to want to talk about himself and how he's this and that. Literally, when I walk out, he bombards us and he's like, I want to make sure Molly's telling you the whole truth because I am her father and I love her so much.
Based. That's important, and I'm going to be honest. Now that you say that, it makes a lot of what you're saying, it makes me trust a lot of what you're saying even less now.
And just to let you know, Molly and I are like this. We're codependent on each other. I don't agree with that. That freaked me out. That made me so uncomfortable. I do not want to be that way. I have never wanted to be that way. The reason that you think that is because you use me as something to yell at, as something to get your emotions out at. Okay?
Seems like you might both be doing that to each other. Because that's what you're doing right now. You're not talking to the internet. You're talking to your father right now.
When I told my father that a Christian man had attempted rape on me, the only thing he
Good Lord, what the fuck?
thought about was himself. He's like, well, if you report this what if they come back and they have more money than us and it makes us look bad. He didn't know. And oh my God, I need to calm down. But
I don't know if I necessarily believe that because, I don't know the whole context of that whole kind of situation. That's just a story. That's just something you just said. And maybe, if that happened, holy shit, that's horrible. And to be honest, we shouldn't suffer a witch to live. In a lot of regards, I don't think we should suffer a rapist to live either. But
literally telling
Like, but yeah, that kind of response would be bad if that's what he said, but I don't know if I can believe what you're saying. It sounds like you talk, like, it sounds like you talk to your dad a lot. Like, I don't understand, like, maybe while you're going through this spiel that you want to give, that you're doing right now, he interrupts you and he's trying to help guide you through it better and trying to help you in this way. I'm slowly starting to become on the dad side.
you, like, I still haven't reported that because it's like I'm not allowed to talk about the harm that is going on. And when I tell my parents about the harm that they're going on, they make me question my own perception and my own sanity and my own memory. And so that is the main thing right here, is that. Verbal assaults. Frequent name calling, harsh criticism, assaults, and extreme sarcasm designed to make the person feel worthless. Yet, every day of my life, I remember growing up and my mom would come into my room and say, I was little, you're a pig. Get out of my face, I don't want to see you right now. Go away. My mom, I just want to run away. I just want to run away. I would wear black clothes.
All right, so I know this is something I will say. If like a mother is saying that kind of shit, that's not a good thing to really say. But it just depends on the context in which it's being said. Um, like, I don't think it's bad to say, "Hey, you." I don't know. Like, I don't believe her perception of what's happening. I don't believe it. Um. But yeah, I can understand this to a degree, right? You don't want your mother to be ridiculing you constantly and dismissing you. And I do think that that's not something. I don't think that a mother or father, either one, should be doing that. But it also depends on the context. If like you're being really aggravating and annoying, and you're just constantly bitching and complaining and talking about how you guys have all destroyed my will to live. Yeah, at some point, get the fuck away. You know, like at some point, you know, you do that every day to me for a few years. Eventually, I'm like, go fuck off. Like, go cry in your room or something. Like, there's going to be times where that's what I'm going to do. Like, everybody is kind of going to do that to an extent.
Stop wearing so much black. It's so annoying. Like, why are you wearing black all the time? Like, that's just demonic. All this fear.
Well, wearing black's not demonic. That's kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. That's just some weird Protestant shit.
Whole family is based on fear. Literally,
I don't know. Like, I also don't know exactly what she means by just wearing black.
This family love is through fear, okay? And all my little siblings experience.
Or maybe your perception of fear that's ingrained in you so much has diluted your perception of what the family actually is and what's actually happening. Your fear is kind of corrupting the way that you see everything. Because it sounds like you and your dad are pretty close. It really does sound like you and your dad are pretty close, and that's great. It's awesome. And I don't understand why you're doing this. You should be talking to him.
This. My other sister has experienced this. My other sister would tell me that she's going to get away, and she did get away.
Right, so you idolize your sister that tried to kill you and got away. Or your other sister, so maybe it's another sister that she has. Okay, so you idolize your sister who's made it out of the house and lives on her own, and you're just taking her opinion and conflating it with your own, saying it's converted. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't believe this.
She did get away, and she called me the other day, and she told me that our parents are manipulators, and she doesn't want to see them again. When she sees them again, she's going to put them in their place.
Right, so you see that bigger sister as, like, a hero that accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. That she's going to come back like a valiant fucking knight and come slay down the arrogance of your family. I don't know. Like, I just don't. I'm not taking anything that she's saying on good faith anymore. And the problem with what's happening here is like it's just a delusion. It's a delusion built off of fear. It's a fear of maybe looking more inward than outward. You're looking very outward for your problems. You're not looking inward to see if there's anything that's uh, not operating correctly. So you're just casting out blame rather than trying to fix problems in the only way that you can, which is internally.
Using threats of physical harm, abandonment, or harm to loved ones or pets as leverage. So my entire life, that even if I ever spoke out or I ever did something that made them uncomfortable or they didn't like, and I'm talking about like telling a mentor that I'm struggling, or having like a poster on my wall that they don't like, or wearing makeup that they feel uncomfortable around, or making a video that's just like, the video's not for God, so like take it down. You know what I'm saying? Any like little things, like every little.
Well, yeah, like I don't think that you have to do everything with the idea that it's dedicated directly towards God. That's an insane kind of concept that nobody would ever really truly live up to. I think it's always best to understand that God's watching what you're doing, and maybe you should do things in a way that would be pleasing to Him. But but let me see.
Like, it's not.
Let me go back
The
a little
video's
bit.
not for God, so like they feel uncomfortable around, or making a video that's just like, the video's not for God, so like take it down. You know what I'm saying? Any like little things, like every little thing gets monitored. Like they would threaten to kick me out. They threatened to kick me out like at 17. They could do that right now. Like the day after I attempted suicide, they said you need to leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Um, Depending on the circumstances, if I had a child that tried to do that, I'd probably do the same. I don't know what exactly has happened there, but I could see how that could occur.
And the moment after I attempted, I just called my boss. I just called my boss and said, can I come over? Okay, but the
And what does she even mean by attempted? Did she mean like she was just thinking about it really hard? Like she just thought about, she was really convinced to do it, and she was like, I'm gonna do it this time, and then she just didn't.
like literally a couple minutes after I attempted, I went to my dad. I said, look, I attempted suicide, and I'm going to my boss's house. And he just hugged me and he said, love you, and went back to work.
Okay, what else is he supposed to do? You said that you don't feel heard or loved. You did that, and then he's like, "Ah, oh, shit. What do I say? I don't want to say anything that's gonna make her, go back to try it. Like I'm just gonna say, okay, that's what you're gonna do. All right, love you." I don't. What's the problem with that?
Okay. Last night, I went to the ER 2 nights ago, and I was gonna take myself, 17 years old, and I was gonna use that money to get out of the house. So if you could interact this video, that's just the scrape of the surface. The scrape of the surface, just to let you know, there's so much more. That's a scrape. So just to let you know, please watch this video because I want to get monetized, because I was going to get monetized on my other channel when I was 17 years old, and I was going to use that money to get out of the house. So if you could interact this video, share this video.
All right, well, good luck with that. So okay, so I'm gonna kind of skip through these other ones. I haven't watched any of these other ones. I'm gonna skip the break free from fear / survival. Well, maybe she has insight on why she's doing this.
Well,
Maybe she'll give some insight to confirm some of the theories that I have.
but I'm gonna pour myself a Coke real quick. Okay, I'm putting the microphone next to it so y'all can hear it.
This is a pre-recorded video. You should have already had it.
Actually, I can't do this with. Hold on, we're gonna. Okay, ready?
Thanks. Now I'm deaf.
I cooked it on the cup.
What is this? What's going on? This is a full minute of the video.
And my my family has as well. And it's this constant fear of negative things happening, of, well, bad things happen
Yeah, there's generally a fear of negative things happening. That's a consistent thing with just about every human being.
to me, so they're going to continue to happen to me. Like, you're going to be blindsided by bad things happening to you, but you could also be blindsided by good things happening to you based on the output that you're putting. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah, but it's always better to be blindsided by something good than to not be prepared for something bad. Like I don't understand.
I'm in this season of healing. I'm trying to rewire my brain because I don't want to live in fear. I do not want to keep this mindset that I was taught growing up.
Now this is a day after the other video, right? This is the day after.
I want to break free from this and live in a state of positivity and love. I believe that good things can come to anyone. I believe that
Okay.
I believe that even if I'm going to have to work hard, I do not believe, and I do not want myself stressing out at all. I don't think that.
And see, this is something that I think happened. This is my theory right now. What's going on is like after she posted that other YouTube video, her dad was like, "What the fuck," and then came and talked to her and helped her work through this a little bit.
It's fair to me. And so this is just the beginning stage of me building a safe life for me, for building a safe place for me. And I don't know where that's going to be. I don't know who that's going to be with. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this alone. But I know that I have you guys, and I'm going to be sharing the journey with you guys.
No thanks, I'm fine.
I'm going to be so honest. The truth will be spoken through my voice.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
In my entire life, I have been shut off. My voice has been shut off, and I am no longer going to suffer with my voice being shut off. The people that have done me wrong can believe whatever they want to believe. But this is my story, and the way I have been treating is not acceptable, and I am leaving. I don't know what the route will be. I don't know the conversations that I will have. I don't know if it will get good or worse.
Okay, so
But
this would be so. What I'm thinking happened is she's had a conversation with her father. She got things that she shouldn't have gotten out of the conversation, and now she's really arrogant about what she's saying right now because this is my whole thing. Like if I had a conversation with my daughter after I saw the fucking YouTube spurg out she just did right there, and then I talked to her, and then she said, "Yeah, I'm leaving. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be like, all right, go." Well, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. You're gonna figure it out.
I know in the end that it will be better than where I'm at now. Because where I'm at now has led me to so many dark things because I have never been accepted in this environment and I have never been.
Yeah, see, like the more she's talking about this kind of stuff, the more I would just be getting slowly angrier and angrier listening to this, and I'd be like, okay, you think this is so bad? I'm not paying for your counselor anymore. I'm not paying for anything anymore. Go to your sister, actually.
Unconditionally loved.
There's no such thing as unconditional love. All love has conditions to a certain extent. There's types of love that are unconditional. Like I always wish for everyone's well-being and betterment. Well, not well-being, but the betterment. I always hope that people will become better. That's a type of love. But most love is not unconditional. Most of it, like 90% of it, 95, 99% of it.
In this environment. So, I'm still in this environment. But thankfully, I am safe today.
And what she also means by unconditional love is I want to be able to hold you emotionally hostage for several hours a day so that I can just dump all this shit on you and feel like I've stood up for myself so that I can feel affirmed in my broken emotional state.
And I don't know what's gonna happen next, you know. And I think it's okay to have some type of fear, because the ones that have been driving fear into my mind, I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of. But I know, and I am spending the time learning skills, learning.
Well, this is the thing. Like, are they the ones driving fear into you? Are you a one? Are you the one allowing fear to enter your soul? You know, are you allowing fear to creep in and to warp your perception of what's actually happening? Because I think that is more likely than anything the biggest issue.
Communication things and learning how I'm going to handle the situation so that I'm prepared. And it's going to be so heartbreaking, and I know it's going to be so heartbreaking, but for this, for me, and for the people involved, this was bound to happen. I have always felt this day coming. I remember when I was 15 years old and it got really bad, I always dreaded this time in my life because I knew it was coming. I have known, and I have
Oh
worked
my
so
Lord.
hard, and I have tried so many things to prepare myself for it. And I don't feel prepared, I don't feel qualified, but I know that it's going to happen. And you know, maybe a couple years later I will think of ideas that I could have done it better, but I'm not going to know better now, and I'm going to have to handle it to the best of my ability. So on that note,
Okay. I think I'm going to skip
I
through
would
most
say
of
have
this one.
great
This one's
fight.
bothering me.
And those
This one's
people,
this
including
one's
myself
destroying
too,
me.
I take accountability for things too, all the time. Like, I want
You
to.
literally spent a whole video before not taking any accountability. You started out most of this video trying to divert accountability and trying to say that I'm going to do things based on what other people are saying and doing. And I know it's going to be horrible and bad, but I'm going to take myself out of all these people that are doing such terrible things to me. That's not you taking accountability. That's you casting blame and not receiving things in a way that would be healthy for you.
To have conversations with people that already have an idea of you, and they're not going to believe anything else you say. It gets really scary because you know when you go into those conversations, they already have their conclusion. And know that some conversations you have with people, they already have their conclusion. But you got years of
Okay,
suffering.
we're skipping this one. This was driving me insane. Holy shit, this one was bad. I'm sorry, this one was a bad one. There was nothing going on here but prattling. Oh my Lord, that was bad. Okay. We could have skipped that one. I should have followed my instincts and just skipped this one. But this is 2 days before she gets thrown out.
Hey guys.
All right, here we go. So this is where, this is on, I think, the same day. I think this is on the same day that she posted the other one. I think this is the one that gets her thrown out. The other one was like a build up. It was like a build up of like ego and um trying to try to build up self-confidence, and I think it's going to be this one.
I'm back, and you know what reality is.
Oh no.
This is reality.
No, God.
You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know if it's going to be good or bad or something that you're going to be learning from. You don't know what is next. But your mind, it will start to give you thoughts and replay conversations and make up scenarios of what could happen next to prepare
What
you.
drug are you taking right now?
When you're in this state, ready to fight, your brain is preparing. Now, the in-between stage of waiting is so hard, but it's beautiful. And know that you're safe.
Oh my God. Okay, we're done. We're not doing this.
You are safe. It's going to get shoved in their face one day.
It's gonna get shoved in their face.
All outcomes. And know that. So, as you're in this state of trying to allow yourself to be safe in the in-between.
Oh my God,
Just
she's
remind
she's
yourself,
going,
like, I've been doing
she's
this.
going
I've
full
been, like,
retard,
when I'm out
boys.
and about,
Oh my
I'm
God,
safe.
what the
I am
fuck is
safe.
happening?
You
Why?
see the night and day difference from me going from a couple of days ago of like, I don't know what to do.
She's doing it. She's doing it. She's going full retard. This, I'm gonna be honest, this would be the breaking point for me.
I'm suicidal. I don't know what to do because eating things that you're supposed to provide for your child your entire life. And we're not going to accept you, and we're not going to accept the things that you like because it makes us uncomfortable.
Or it's gay. Or it's just gay and stupid. Or it's just fucking gay. Retarded. Or it's just really stupid and you shouldn't be doing it.
Loud, and when you're...
Oh my God. I understand. Like, I'm gonna be honest. After these few videos, I went from trying to be good faith to just being angry now.
You're free. It scares us. Good. Be scared of me. It's
Oh,
about
no.
time. I have waited 20 years for this moment. When I was 15 years old, I prepared. I literally prepared for 2 years, and when I was 17, I took the chance. And let me just tell you, I cowered back. I cowered back. I let their words that was said to me, that was yelled at me, to be my...
You just don't understand, Mom. You just don't get it, okay? Good Lord. This is like a 13, 14-year-old, you know, being mad that they couldn't go to the fucking mall with their friends. That's what this sounds like. This is childish as fuck.
Identity, and no longer it is, because I know the truth, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have all these problems. I will sort my problems, and I have sorted my problems, and I will continue to sort my problems.
Bitch, it's been like 3 days. You got a lot of problems. You ain't sorted them out yet. Maybe you should listen to your dad. Maybe you should just get off the internet and just, like, figure it out instead of just airing out your dirty laundry here.
I am human. We are all human. I will continue to repent. I will continue to take accountability, and I will continue to grow, shape. But you can no longer control me. You can no longer control them. You have been terrified of my whole life because you have been terrified of me telling the truth.
This reminds me of this. I don't even know if these are even working, if they're playing correctly.
Beast.
I've accidentally clicked a few of them. Well, I did accidentally
right
this.
Bro.
That's what she is right now. She's a fucking beast.
Do you understand that the beginning of service of me making these Minecraft videos that I started 3 months ago, I was hiding behind a Minecraft character to tell the truth of what I've been going through. I did it in story form, and it's, you know who them are? The ones that manipulate you and gaslight you. And for me, you know who them are. You know who they are. And I don't...
Well, I wanted the volume to be kind of low on them because I wanted to be able to play them while the video is going and not interrupt the video too much. I tried to. I don't know if I balance it out correctly. I'll watch the replay later to see if it's okay.
I could care less what they decide to do. Because I will be protected and I will be guided because I am loved by the Lord. And they have made me...
Weird ideas of God. I thought you... What does this mean? Now I'm confused. What's going on?
Literally, they have made me almost lose my faith because of the way that they twist their words and the way that they say, I do this in the name of God. No. This... Goodness gracious. Whew. Goodness gracious. This voice
It ain't shutting off. It is not shutting.
Oh
I'm not
no.
going to allow myself
Please.
to shut off. I am not going to cower under their growls, because my growl will be louder and there are people behind me. And I am so thankful for you guys. I am so thankful for you guys. Know that you can have courage even when you're afraid. Know that you can stand up against people that abuse.
All right, well, this is what's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that one there. Well, so she's empowered. She's fully embraced her inner badass, right?
Oh.
She's embraced her inner badass. She's not gonna be shut up. She's gonna be heard.
Hello, if you're watching.
Now this is a motel room. You could immediately tell it's not even that bad of a one either.
Yeah. It's been 2 days. But
Yeah.
the blessings that have come after.
Yeah, 2 days. Dad saw the last video. Was like, oh yeah, yeah, okay. Here, I got you a hotel room, or motel, or hotel, yeah, hotel probably. Go to the hotel. You can go stay there for a few days.
All of that has been amazing. Notice this pattern where, as well as have the cops called on me without him letting me know. It was a very scary. Thank you all for the support.
All right,
Dad,
lady.
as well as have the cop. I would be kicked out by my dad, as well as have the cops called on me without him letting me know. It was a very scary.
Hell yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? Eventually you get to this point where you've said something over and over again. You fulfill what you said was going to happen, and you did. And if you don't listen because you just don't take it seriously anymore, sometimes you get the cops called on you to remove you. That's what happens.
It was a very scary day.
I know it had to have been scary. It was probably terrifying. You got removed from your parents' house because you talked a lot of shit.
And I'm actually shocked that it just continues to get worse with them. Like the whole thing about control. And
yeah, you were in their house, you do what they say.
I've noticed this pattern throughout my life when it gets really bad for me, like with my mental health, because living in that environment is horrible. Notice I've had so many conversations with my little sisters, so much, and my little brother too. So thank you guys. So it got really scary because I started texting my dad. I was like, tell them to leave. You did not inform me about this visit. And never answer the door again
Okay,
when
here
I'm
we
home
go.
alone. He told me that. So in my head, it was playing like, don't open the door, because another cop months prior had told you not to open the door, even for cops. And then it got really scary because I started texting my dad. I was like, tell them to leave. You did not inform me about this visit. Like, what is wrong with you? You did not tell. And he's just reading the text. He's just read all of it, but he wouldn't respond. So
yeah, it's probably got to the point where it's just like, okay, nothing's gonna work. Gonna have to leave you alone on this one. Gonna have to let you experience something of, you're gonna have to experience the real world for a little bit.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is some like sick show and he's just getting enjoyment out of my fear. It's insane. But anyways, I can't put it together in my head. And so then you can leave me on the phone. They want to do a wellness checkup on me, like a mental checkup on me, because of the thing. I just want to let you know, if he does, I want to leave this session. And she said, okay. Conversation. He's like,
All right, come on
I'm
now.
here because I care about Mom.
Oh, good Lord.
She's like, we're here for you too. She gets to my house while the cops are there. My friend. We go like this, grr, to each other, And they see for yourself and experience for.
Okay, so this is the problem. I think what this woman is she's just a little bit full of herself. and she's gotten a lot of really weird, like, I think she's a very deep, like, thinker. She's just not thinking about herself, like problems within herself a whole lot. She's trying to dictate and tear apart other people rather than face the problems that she has herself, which is something that's normal for somebody young. But hopefully that she figures it out.
Me down the
Good Lord, what is all this shit that I have?
in a new light and received.
There was something that I wanted to do.
His response.
So now we're gonna go to this dude. This guy is somebody that I found. No, I don't. I'm already fucking triggered by that chick, so I don't really want to do that guy anymore. Because he's kind of blabbery. But anyways, I wanted to get back to the main issue. Like, I wanted to talk about, like, the whole idea of what I'm trying to do right now. Is, how men and women are kind of lost without each other. And how, like, a lot of men who have problems within, like, the dating sphere, they don't understand that women are actually having the same problems. The problem is that there's just no ability to communicate with each other anymore. And I don't think that that's just a problem between men and women. It's a problem between people in general. People in general can't communicate with each other anymore. They have lost that ability over the past 20 years. People don't listen to each other. They look for ways of getting what they want out of the other person. They look for ways of getting their own personal affirmation from something. And that's kind of that's why I started out with her. It was more so I thought that, I don't think that she's a liar, but I do think that I can't trust her on a lot of the things that she's saying is happening. I kind of laid that out there, but there's also like this other part of it. That's where fathers and their children, fathers and their daughters, they have a breakdown in communication because of the way that our culture works, and that they don't get what like the daughters don't understand, and there's ways that fathers need to be able to explain things to their daughters now that is different than it's ever been in history. So there's always a need to be vigilant. But there's also the case where men and women in the dating sphere can't really communicate with each other. They blame each other for the problems in the dating sphere rather than doing what's correct, like doing what's right, doing what's moral, conducting themselves in a moral, pious type of way, going to the church, becoming part of that, and then trying to find things like marriage and stuff. They try to do it outside. But we're going to go through this, and we're going to not do a whole lot of this video because this chick talks about a lot of random shit that doesn't mean anything or pertain to what I'm trying to get. But we're going to go through a little bit.
beautiful day here in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. And last video, but I've been a long way to go, but I feel like I am making some progress. And
But I'm trying to focus on like my advice towards women right now. Not in a way of like trying to judge them or whatever, but in a way of trying to show the bridge that can be built.
I have some appointments coming up that I'm really hopeful for. I've been forcing myself to be more active again, and that has definitely been helping. The thing that I noticed is, well,
All right,
when
lady,
I
come on.
do, I'm all in. I just really had felt like me and this person had a connection, unlike anything that I had ever experienced before. I remember the first day that we met, just right from the beginning, I truly felt like I could be myself, and this is probably going to sound cringy and I'm probably going to sound stupid, but honestly, with people around here where I live, that just doesn't happen very often. I kind of have a hard time clicking.
Okay, well that's a problem with just about generally everywhere. It's not let's just be. I can't find anybody here. It's so terrible. That's not a, like, the problems that you're having there are more than likely problems that you have just about anywhere. And also, like, yeah, it sucks to have somebody that you really liked or whatever Apparently, they didn't feel the same for you, so it was good that you figured it out before, yeah, things got went any further, right? So that's a kind of a problem that I see with a lot of people in general, men and women. They get stuck on people that they thought this was going to be the person I'm just going to be with forever because they get comfortable, and they got comfortable with them. So they get really stuck on that person, and they compare everyone to that person, the negatives and the positives. Everyone does, almost everyone does this. The mass majority of people do this. Um, and that's not a healthy mindset. I treat every person that I meet, every woman that I pursue, I try to the best of my ability, to treat them as if this is just a totally new experience. I'm not going to bring other shit into it. But it's a very difficult thing, and even I fall into those traps of like doing that. But I don't think that it's a healthy mindset. Um, so when somebody breaks up with you, I think the best and most healthy thing, or even if there's a relationship that ends, the best thing that you can do, put that in a box, put it in the back of your head, forget it exists. Just forget about it. Didn't mean anything at the end of it, anyways. You learned some lessons, cool. Got some lessons out of it. Everything else didn't matter. Everything that you had tried to build ultimately was pointless. There was lessons that can be learned for the next relationship you try to build. That's all you can get out of it.
With people around
All the feelings, all the emotions, all that shit, gay as fuck. Put it in a box, put it somewhere, delete it, get rid of it.
here. I know I'm probably going to get comments about how stupid I am and how literally anywhere in the world it would be like this.
The
But
truth.
there really is something about the area where I live. Like, people who I know who watch these videos message me and they're like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it
It's
still doesn't mean
really
anything.
hard to meet people.
They're just all biased for that one
Like,
situation
where
place.
am I going to meet someone? In the grocery store? Walking around at the park? I mean, I guess theoretically it's possible, but
Yeah, and see, this is the problem that specifically a lot of people, like boomers, Generation X, they think that these things just happen. That's been ripped and shredded out of our culture for probably a good 30 years now. This doesn't happen anymore. You don't walk down the park and just start a conversation with somebody. People my age, we don't do that. That's not something that happens. It's and I think there's a culture shock between the two generations there, because even some like older millennials will think that that's how it works. It's not. Um, Generally, what happens is we everybody just ignores each other, and we might make a smart ass comment to each other every once in a while, and haha, that's funny, and then maybe talk for a few seconds, but that's like it. Yeah, there's usually nothing that really comes out of it. Um, it even then, people don't just walk up to you and talk to you. It's usually a comment on something random that's happening that you're both experiencing together. Like, haha, that's funny.
it's been working out. And I honestly really have been living such a hermit lifestyle because I worked as a nanny for over 6 years. Not gonna
Okay.
be around, but unfortunately, I don't think my future husband's just gonna come walking up to me. And I probably do spend too much time in my house, but really, what is there to do? I mean, I go outside, I go camping, I go to this park, I walk around, but unfortunately, I don't think my future husband's just gonna come walking up to me. Like, where does that lead?
No, and that's kind of the problem. Like, you have to go somewhere where that's being facilitated. The only place that I could ever say that it's possible, there's two places, right? And this is going to maybe make um, some people, there's two places where this can occur. I think that you can find people generally more often on the internet. I think that's one place. I don't think it's the best place, but that is a place where conversations and stuff still happens, where people can interact with each other in a way that is probably even more to a greater extent than even people in the fucking 80s or 70s were doing in public. And then there's also the church. The church is a place where you could find a wife, and people would generally want that to happen, right?
Give me dating apps? Like, am I really gonna go back to that again? Am I really going to go down in those trenches again? And I know I'm probably going to get comments saying that I'm absolutely stupid to think that I could meet my husband on a dating app. But, you know,
Yeah, but what else is there you can do? Right? What else is there if you're secular and you don't um have any other place that you really have where you can meet people? Like you could even maybe, I could say you could probably find like some sort of activity or something, some type of class. Maybe you could meet somebody in. I don't know. That requires a lot of other things too. But like that's kind of like the inevitable conclusion that you come up with. It's like, what am I supposed to do? There's nowhere where I can go to find somebody, to seek somebody out. I'm going to go to the apps. And the apps, what happens? Well, if you're like me and you don't really enjoy the degenerate people that much, you get run off pretty quick. And if you're, um, so if you're not engaging with the degenerate actions that are happening on there, and you're trying to sift through all of that, it's a lot of work. And it's not exactly something that's a lot of people have endurance for, and there's no reason that they should.
there still are people out there with good intentions. There are still people out there looking for a serious
You could, if you were willing to sift through this shit, then sure, I guess those apps wouldn't be the absolute worst place, but it's not the greatest.
relationship. You know, it could happen. It could happen. Is it? If any of you guys remember the Pharaoh, he came from a dating app.
I don't care about the fucking Pharaoh. I don't care about the Pharaoh.
Right now. But I wasn't really open to the idea of dating and being in a relationship again, meeting up with a complete
Well, yeah, you're never gonna, if you treat things as if there's a time and place for having a relationship, relationships just never happen. In my experience, the best thing it to be, and that's the end of the video. She's gonna blab on about that shit for a while, but like if you're thinking that there's always a time and place for those types of things, there's going to be time, there's going to be people that are just going to pass you by, and you're not going to be able to recognize a moment to take hold of something. There's a time and place for everything to an extent, but when it comes to developing relationships, they're kind of like there's only one opportunity every once in a while. You should jump on it. Anyhow, like there's one other thing I wanted to do. I don't know. And this one was more of a sad video. I listened to it a little bit, and you know, as this is the thing. You have to understand that all these hoes and all these red, like, you know, Andrew Tates out there that are getting all these bitches and shit, and all the bitches that they're getting, like, all these people are like generally above average. They're like above average. We're seeing that. We're not seeing the struggle of like the normal person usually ever. And they're here, they're on the internet, and if you dig deep enough, you could find them. And granted, every individual has problems. They have problems with how they're kind of living out this false idol that they create that they want their life to center around. There's problems with that. There are problems with people having certain ideas when it comes to feminism and stuff, but there's always methods of getting around it and helping people out of it. And as a man, you should always be working to walk in a way that somebody would be willing to walk behind you. And there's a lot of people that cheat and whatever. That's true, that happens, and it's becoming more and more common. But you shouldn't expect and go into each relationship in a way of like trying to guard yourself from being cheated on. you do that, you're never going to get into a relationship. You're never going to have any kind of anything happen like that. You could be vigilant to the signs of this possibly happening. I'm very vigilant to those. But it's not something that you should just expect all women to do no matter what, no matter who they are. But anyways, I want to go through this.
People of the tubes, how are you all doing? It's been a while since we last sat down with each other. I am fine. Don't ask me that question. I'll never tell you the truth anyway, so just like, why are you even asking? I'm joking. You know, I'll always tell you guys what's up, but yeah, so here we are. I'm going to tell you what's up. Basically,
once again, probably not a great idea to do this on the internet. Probably not a great idea. Otherwise, you have somebody use you as an example of something on their channel.
I was sitting in the kitchen finishing my salad. Guardian angels. I was like, spirit guides, guardian angels.
Yeah, she's a little bit Gnostic. That's okay. Like, you could have a Gnostic woman and correct that portion of their ideology, because it's just something they don't really even think about. This is the thing. Like, I do that at work all the time with women that I would never pursue ever. They have these weird Gnostic ideas and weird, like, Buddhist kind of we're all the same kind of thing. And then I explain to them why that's not a good way of looking at anything when it comes to spiritual life or trying to understand God. And generally they listen. I've actually had a few people start going to the church just based on those kind of conversations that I've had with them, which is great. I hope that they do well there.
How do I find a boyfriend?
Yeah, so you're starting out with the wrong idea. You're like asking demons to give you guidance on how to find men. Well, if they were there, they were listening, they would guide you to a man that would not be the kind of man that you need.
And, you know, they respond to me pretty quickly. And
oh, no.
They said, go to a bookstore. And I was like, thinking
what
about
the fuck?
Going to a bookstore, but then I was like, that would be weird if I just show up to a bookstore knowing full well I'm never gonna read any of the books that I'm looking at. So then I had this amazing idea to just get a shirt and put on the shirt, not here for the books, just looking for a boyfriend. So guys, if you see me chilling at a bookstore with that shirt, just know the origin story. It wasn't me, okay? It wasn't.
Well, it was you that told yourself that, but you did say that was your idea. But this is the thing. Like men and women both are struggling with the ability to like understanding where to even find each other, and I don't have a good answer to this. Like, she has a lot of other issues. She seems to be talking with imaginary friends. She seems to need to get that corrected a little bit. She's a little bit nutty. Probably should just go to the church. There's plenty of young men there. Plenty of young men there that are willing to be married. Go to the church. Get catechized. Get right with God. You know, become get into the hospital, get healed. Maybe you'll be able to find a husband pretty easy. This is the thing. Like, for women, it's a little bit easier. For women, it's a little bit easier to give them a prescription on how to find a decent man. Go to the church. Talk to the priest there. The priest will be able to help you find a husband probably pretty quickly. It's not that super complicated for women. Now, granted, that's me saying that as a man, whatever. But what I'm saying is, like, just in general, it's easier.
This is my idea. Yeah. So that's the idea. Why did that even happen?
Because you're crazy, a little crazy.
I've just been kind of lonely. I've been seeing a lot of.
Well, yeah, we have an innate, like, part of our nature that desires marriage. A lot of us do. Like, to build families, to have a husband or have a wife. This is part of our nature. There's nothing wrong with that, right? The idea that you don't need it, yeah, that's technically true. You don't have to have that. It's not something that you're owed, right? But it is something that is a desire that a lot of people have.
People, couples, and I'm just like, I don't get, like, it feels like, honestly, like the universe is just withholding something from me, and I honestly, like, go through phases.
Not withholding it from you. You just don't have access to it because you're trying to gain access to it through a false means.
Like, for a really long time, I just didn't really care. I was like, God forbid I have a boyfriend. Like, that would just give me such a headache. Like, I'm too much of a... No, like, you know, like, I just don't want that in my life. And today, I'm, like, on the opposite side of the spectrum. I'm like, no, that'd be great to, like, cuddle with someone and, like, share a kiss. That'd be wonderful, and not...
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And this is the thing, like, whenever you're trying to develop a relationship with anybody, you have to understand that there's going to be some things that happen that are going to be kind of annoying, and they're going to get on your nerves. There's going to be issues that you have between you and the other person that need to be worked out. And that takes effort, that takes struggle, that takes the risk of getting hurt and stuff. It takes you have to risk that kind of stuff. You have to be willing to work through that kind of stuff. So just going, oh, that's going to be such a headache, get rid of that idea. Yeah, it's going to be times of great stress and times of great benefit, times of great joy within relationships. That's just part of it.
Be alone 24/7. And, like, other stuff, obviously, like...
Well, we're not meant to be alone, I don't think. We're not ever really truly alone, but only some of us understand that. But we, like, the whole idea is nobody wants to be. We shouldn't be.
Talking about the books I never read, and... No.
I mean, if you have that desire for a relationship, to be married, to have families and that kind of stuff, that is something that is good. It's a good thing.
Watch, I don't know, like, what can you do? Like, take a walk together? I don't know. But what was my point? Yeah.
Well, the point is, you're desperate, lonely, you're talking to people in your head. Try to go to the library with a shirt on that's to attract men there, which good luck. I don't think that any people really go to bookstores to begin with anymore. I don't know, it's like a weird idea.
Like, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum.
I mean, it would be okay
and...
to do that, to find people that are interested in the same types of things that you are, I guess.
It kind of sucks to be on this side, because I don't like feeling like I depend on anything, like I need anything in my life. I hate that feeling of being needy, and
we're all needy for something. There's nothing wrong with needy or having these needy kind of desires. It just matters on how you express them and how you control them. Like, the emotional state that is, this needy state, is like a feeling of lack. Like, you feel like you lack something that's core to what is within your nature. So you're wanting this desperately because it's a part of, like, who you are as a person. This is what you want. This is part of, like, the normal, everyday, average, like, prescriptive force for society. You want this family, independent. You're always going to be dependent on something or somebody to certain extents. For instance, you're always going to be dependent on the church normatively. So you're going to always be dependent on that. You're dependent on that to heal yourself, to create a connection to God. So you are always dependent on something or somebody. You're always going to be dependent on that. And there's nothing wrong with being dependent on your husband. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with even developing relationships where you feel like you've grown to depend on somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a false idea. This is a lie that's used to manipulate you to keep yourself separated from other people. And this is something that I struggle with a lot. I don't like feeling dependent on people. I don't like feeling as though that I need to have something in my life like that. But growing to be dependable and dependent on somebody else is just part of life. You become dependent on people just by the act of being part of society and just by the act of trying to build families.
And sort of almost desperate. I despise that part of myself that's just like desperation. It's just like, ew, no, oh God.
Well, you are desperate. You can tell it in the, maybe you're just having a bad moment right now, but you are desperate. And there's nothing innately wrong with being desperate for something. But it just matters on how you're practicing it out and trying to attain what the thing you're desperate for, and making sure that that emotion is always in check and in control.
I feel like I've evolved a lot from that point in my life, so coming back to this kind of in a full circle moment feels kind of insane and terrible, and I'd rather not. But also being detached from wanting love feels not that great either, because you just, what else do I have to say? You feel detached. You don't, like, everyone's thinking about love, talking about love.
Yes, it makes you feel detached, and it makes you feel numb. Well, that's the thing. It's like it's a spiritual type of numbness that I think people experience. It's a totally like self-centered type of selfish love, and I'm talking specifically with the way that it's kind of within me. So I'm not like saying that about this person or anybody really. This is because it's hard to really understand where that comes from other people, because you don't have access to their mind. But from what I understand in this idea that she's expressing and how it works through me is that it's kind of self-centeredness. It's me being selfish. It's me not wanting to depend on somebody. And that's where a lot of my issues with like trusting people is. So I don't want to depend on anybody. I want to do things on my own.
Your whole life was once about love, and then you just go, oh no, I don't care about it. Me? No. But like you actually feel that way, and then you feel,
Well, yeah, it's kind of like an influence of our culture, though, as well. American culture influences not us to not really care about the people in our lives, but the things that we have.
kind of empty. So,
And it makes you empty. It does make you feel empty. Focusing on just the things that you have is, focusing on even the work that you do. Like a lot of the time that I would do is I would just focus on the work that I do rather than like what am I actually doing with the things that I do with like the things that I get from work. Like if I make money from work, what am I doing with it? Am I buying things and purchasing things to distract me from other like parts of my life that are not fulfilling? Then that it's actually me being very self-centered and trying to not do things that fulfill me and to better myself, but actually is destroying me and distracting me and making me lazy.
it's not good anywhere on the spectrum. Like, it's not good anywhere. So yeah, that kind of, I don't know where to go from here. I mean, not like I have to figure it out right now, but
I mean, it's always important to be ever vigilant and to be trying to figure that type of stuff out constantly. Otherwise, you end up losing opportunities.
thought I would voice some of my concerns, thoughts, opinions for you guys. I feel like I just crave like human connection. Like I really
Yes.
I made a video about how I'm like choosing solitude, but like now I'm questioning if I choose solitude or if I'm just isolated.
Solitude is a beneficial thing in a lot of cases. Sometimes you get stuck on something that's happening that you're not really going to be able to genuinely be there and be present with people. And I go through that sometimes. I go through periods of time. I went through that a few months ago during Lent, where I was more so sealed off, except for like a couple of people. And I didn't really like want to engage with people. I wanted to be by myself for a while. There's nothing wrong with that, but that can't be the constant state, because when it happens, it damages you. It makes you paranoid, and this is what happens with me. It makes me paranoid. It makes me um, think that I don't need anything but beyond what I can produce by myself. Yeah, that's dangerous. It's a dangerous idea because it can lead you down a path that, well, eventually that's all you'll have is the things that you've produced for yourself.
Probably the latter. I feel like I just don't get to interact with a lot of people, but when I was interacting with a lot of people, it was just like too much stimulation, like too much going on, and I felt like I was
Yeah, you should definitely, if you are interacting with too many people and it overstimulates you and it makes you feel overwhelmed, then maybe cut back, maybe create a smaller type of group of people that you know that are dependable in your life, that you can interact with and always have something to gain from it. There's nothing wrong with that either. Um, I don't think that you should be completely cut off from everyone, but there's always a great benefit to having a friend group that is dependable that can help you work through things.
performing at a certain point, but now I just have no interaction with people at all. So it's like minimal, you know? But then again, like that's kind of nice because I could choose who to interact with, but not really because I don't have options. Anyways.
Yeah. See, that's where you get into the contradiction of the idea of solitude, is that you shut yourself off, you don't interact with people or your family or whatever, and you shut yourself off. They become to realize that you're somebody that's not dependable within their life, and they just let you go do what you want, and they know that that there will be at least the minimal interaction that helps like checking on you and making sure you're okay and stuff. But when I'm talking about family, but they understand that you're not a dependable person that could be relied on to be present with them in situations that's required if you want to be part of a friend group. If there's something that somebody's struggling with, you always need to be willing to be present, even if you don't want to be. That's something that I have struggled with most of my life. I'm trying to get better with it over the past 2 years. I've made a lot of improvements, and people have grown to understand that I'm dependable in a lot of situations. So I have a group of people that I'm close to within my family, and that's important. It's important to be somebody to be dependent on.
Love this video. It is the worst thing ever.
But if you're going to decide that you want to be solitude and you don't want anybody to depend on you, you're going to get what you wish for. You're going to get what you wish for. It's just, it's not part of our nature to be satisfied with that, to be completely alone and have no one that relies on us.
I don't know, like what, like I don't really know. Like I'm tired of like wanting something. Like I've wanted this since I was born. Like genuinely, I came out of the womb and I was like, give me a boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is something that I think most people have. This is part of our nature. This is the core part of a lot of our natures, is to want to be a part of a happy marriage, to have a family, to produce that. And it's tragic that our culture has tried to convince so many of us to not do that, to focus on things that ultimately don't matter, that makes us a better citizen in the sense that we pay more taxes instead of which is just a very short-term gain for long-term disparity. Like it's just going to cause more problems over the course of time. They think, like within our society, they think that we're just going to import more people and we'll be able to keep it going. But it ultimately, like, it's an economic disaster of encouraging people in the short term to make as much money as possible, to spend as much money on silly things, and to not focus on family itself. The economy should be designed around producing families and giving not even necessarily benefits, but making sure that within the society itself that families have access to things that they need, which is usually carried out through the economy in a natural way. Because if you need something, the economy will provide it. Supply and demand, baby.
I'm here. Did I actually just do that? I am crazy. That's probably why the universe, or like, I've never received the prize.
Well, no, the universe and things, even, I would even say to this, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't think that the universe or God or whatever you're trying to describe it as provides you with these things. These are things that you have to seek out, that you have to want. That's why that desire is there. You have to seek it out. You have to want it. You have to do the work to get it. And always be vigilant for the opportunities that arise.
Oh God, I'm like spitting. Because I'm crazy. And
A little, yeah,
this
yeah.
is a lot to deal with. I am a lot to deal with. You know, maybe not, but probably yes.
I mean, that's good. That's a good thing to be aware of. Because then you know and understand that maybe the reason that I am by myself is because I have things and issues that I need to be working on. And that's perfectly fine. And a lot of the issues that people have kind of arises out of being secluded, being separated from society, not fulfilling that, not having fulfillment and being dependable and having anyone that you could depend on.
I got issues. Dun, 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 dun. You know that song? And dun, 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 dun,
Well, yeah, everybody in our culture has daddy issues because a lot of the culture has forced dads out of their roles, even within the marriage. It's even within marriages themselves. So even if this is the thing, like over the past 2-3 generations, fathers have failed their children. They have not instilled the moral values that were important to the nation's foundation. Even the Protestant nation and their moral foundation, they have not been applying it to the children. And what has happened is eventually they've become totally lost and focused on self-centered, individualistic, material shit.
dun, 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 dun. And I got issues. Dun, dun, dun,
All right,
you know, that's
ladies.
me. Anyway, if you know that song, you know the song. But I got issues, and like, who's gonna want to deal with them? You know, I mean, how would I even act in a relationship? Like, I'd be pretty. I'd want to keep a lot of my independence. Like, I would never ever.
Well, that's not something that can happen. I mean, that's true for men and women. You can't have a lot of independence. You can't have all your independence and be in a relationship. That's just not something that's compatible. The idea of even dating itself and trying to build up to becoming married is you understanding where these people are dependable at and giving and depending on them for those certain things. And a lot of it revolves around, like in a general sense, right? What are men supposed to be? They're supposed to be emotionally stable and like the rock of every type of relationship. They're supposed to be the foundation in which they're supposed to be like the stable force that wades through the waves. We're the boat, right? We're the boat. We keep the water crashes against us and we keep moving forward and we don't break apart. That's an important aspect of being a man. If you're not capable of being emotionally stable, you need to become emotionally stable. You need to work on that. How do you do that? You go to the place that's done it for thousands of years. You go to the Orthodox Church, you learn and you become humble and you submit to that authority so that you can give an example to how to do that for your wife. And the wife in on the boat is the sail. She is the one that kind of carries the wind of it carries the wind and to help push you forward. She helps push the boat forward. And that's something that women have to kind of develop, that type of skill as well. They have to be a type of, how do I explain that? A type of, like, I guess, encouragement, a type of support. All right.
Want to rely on someone to, I don't know. I got issues, and you got them too. That's confidential. It's confidential. I mean, you can send in your application if you're interested. Girl,
I'm good.
boy, I'll take anyone.
Okay, well, there's another problem right there.
I'll take everyone.
That's where desperation will lead you astray, make you gay.
Everyone, the whole spectrum. No, I don't know, maybe. I haven't thought about this, honestly. No, I have. No, yeah, I think I'm just interested in men for now. But ladies, I'll let you know.
Okay, calm down. Shit. But yeah, I think I've gotten the point that I wanted to talk about pretty well explained. But yeah, like I think ultimately there's a lot of issues that men and women kind of face that make dating and communication very difficult. There's also the fact that a lot of men don't understand that their role and what it's supposed to be within relationships. They don't lay down the foundations to anything. They don't build the framework for relationships. And women tend to, in a general sense, in a societal sense, want to be the boat and the sail. And it's overwhelming and very kind of soul crushing. And even then, within that, we have in our nature a desire to want to be in relationships. And we want certain things from the partner that we can depend on, or the husband or the wife that we're seeking for, to be able to be dependable in these actions. And it's very hard to find that without being capable and coherently able to have the conversations around it. And how do you do that in a simplistic sense that's separated from the church? You become logically, you educate yourself in logic. You become coherent and consistent. And I think that's something that men and women both could benefit a lot from. But I'm gonna probably, let's see. So that's what I wanted to talk about with this. Now I'm probably going to end this so it could be its own separate thing, and I'm gonna do probably come back in like an hour or two. We'll see. I'll probably be trying to beat Final Fantasy VII at some point tonight. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I'll be back maybe an hour or two. But y'all all have a good day, and go to the church, go to liturgy. That's what ultimately can help you way better than anything that I could say or any advice that I could give you. But yeah, see y'all.